Zebec Whales just got the green light, and I expect this coin to be pumping over the next few weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Zebec coin. Now, look, before we jump into the technical analysis, let's talk about the fundamentals. Look, Zebec is bringing its payment technology to the Algorand ecosystem, the integration of algo across our card and payroll tools. Okay, this is fantastic. This is huge. Okay, this is huge. People call this coin a scam. They say this and this. They don't know what they're talking about. Listen, ignore those people. Ignore them. In fact, I saw a post right here. Zebec is not a scam. Zebec is not a scam, right? Bart Simpson, even he knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? People are saying repeat, right? You got to say that. People that are hating on this coin, people that think this coin's trash, repeat this in your head hundreds of times because I promise you this coin is going to make waves this cycle. Look, Algorand security and iOS, right? 20, was that 20,022? Readiness set the standard for real world crypto payments. With Zebec cards, algo holders can spend their coins anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Stay tuned for updates from the Algorand team later this week on how Zebec fits in its real world asset and payments strategy. Guys, I don't know what to say, man. This is absolutely glorious. This is absolutely fantastic. And you know what? 360,000 followers on top of that. It's just more views. Look at that. 43,000 views, 56,000 views, 133, 240. Oh, I guess some are retweets, but listen, they're getting good views too. It's not the most relevant thing, but having more eyes on your coin is always nice. Listen, we talked about last week how we want the weekly candle to pretty much close exactly the way it did. Okay. That's what we were looking for. Why was that important? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a weekly low right over here, right? This black candle at the bottom of it. And we have a higher weekly low. Okay. This is fantastic news. Okay. This pretty much means that the market makers, the whales, are buying Zebec at this price, and it is refusing to go lower than its last previous weekly candle. Okay. So it is showing reversal signs. Okay. It is showing reversal signs. And I expect Zebec to have some type of resurgence pump over the next few short weeks. And I expect it to come back to its all time highs and then start breaking it. Okay. That is what I ultimately expect. I expect this thing to do wonders. And we can see, right? We had a decent pump on Friday. Saturday and Sunday were just kind of, sideways type movement days. And we can see we have broke to the upside ever since, late Sunday and Monday, right? It is looking good. It is looking good. Even on the smaller time frame, right? We have a nice support over here. And we do have a nice reverse head and shoulders. We have this gigantic head over here. We have this gigantic left shoulder, and then we kind of have this smaller right shoulder over here. But this does work. And I kind of expect this to be the bottom of Zebec, right? And we talked about how there's a high probability of us going back into this order block down here, right? This is the area I was looking for. And it didn't exactly play out technically into the order block, but it was close, right? We're only what, roughly 3 or 4% away, right? Just to touch the top of it or tap into it. Yeah, we're roughly 3% away. So you know what? Sometimes, the sniper life, you do miss, right? You never get the entry you want. But in general, we knew what is going to be happening, generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, right? We talked about previously how there was a big rejection off of this zone because there's a huge resistance here as well, right? And there's also there's this one. This is the more important one, right? So we knew there was a huge resistance. We were saying how Zebec was expected to go down for a little bit, but we ultimately expected for there to be a resurgence, right? We said even if it did go down a couple percent, at the end of the day, it does not matter because we're ultimately looking for this, like I said, lifeline. Now, like I said, didn't go into this candle specifically, but it did have the pullback we needed, and things are looking good. Things are looking healthy, right? The next step for this is two things, right? Number one is to kind of close the way we are closing and then chill a little bit. By chill a little bit, I mean maybe literally a day. And then we are going to attempt to go at this big resistance over here. We're looking to turn and flip it into a support. Okay, we're looking to turn and flip it into a support. And the way we do that is by breaking out and then, of course, pulling back and looking to hold. Okay, I expect it to hold. I really, really do. I expect to do something like the way Caspa kind of did. And if we look at Caspa, right, Caspa has been moving very, very nicely and fundamentally the last couple of weeks, right? Boom, it has some type of support and resistance. Boom, then it goes on top of it. And then guess what? Boom, it goes on top of it very slowly, very fundamentally. And you can see now today it's having a nice, stronger green pump. But overall, it's just been steadily growing and growing and growing. And that is what I expect for Zebec. I really want Zebec to be fundamental. So this doesn't necessarily mean a huge burst right away this week, right? But this does mean that we are setting up. And that is the most important thing. We are setting up to go consistently higher and higher. And if I was supposed to say where exactly we are in this phase, we are somewhere here, right? We are somewhere here. Okay, this is where we're at right now. So we still have some time to go, right? As we do need to still recover. And then eventually we have to go sideways around here, right? We go all the way up here. Eventually we go sideways a little bit, boom, bang, boom, probably a little fake out before the big rally. So, you know what? Exciting times. I don't expect, 100% pumps every single day, but that's fine. That is fine. You don't want another leg like this anyways right now because it would be very, very short lived. I promise you, right? The buildup for Zebec is going to happen and it is going to explode. In terms of pure market cap, right? We are what, roughly at 300 million off the top of my head. We were a little bit lower, but of course we did rise. And let's see, right? So we're 326 million, 33 million in volume, rank 169, and I expect for us to really break into the top 100. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are still not listed on so many big exchanges. We're not on Coinbase, we're not on Binance, we're not on Kraken, right? We're not on things like crypto.com. Oh, no, sorry, we are on crypto.com, but we're still not on so many exchanges. So there's so much upside in terms of exchanges. So much. There's so much upside in terms of partnerships. I mean, we just had a partnership right now. We just had something last week. We're going to continue to make strides. And, XRP partnership is ultimately the goal, right? It is ultimately the goal, but I still expect this to do very, very well. Last thing we will look at, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the holders, right? We did dip at one point, right? Not too long ago, but then we can see we rose in holders very, very quickly, right? So, some people left, but guess what? They left probably near the bottoms, right? Let's see, the 16th and 17th. 16th and 17th, when was this? Right, yeah. So people people sold when it was going down. They panicked, and now there's way more holders because they saw the glory of Zebec. So yeah, but that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.